Hi, my name is Megan. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I'm here today to share a Friday Sews video. I have a few things to show you that I made in December and then a little bit of what I picked up in the Boxing Day sales. So December was an interesting month for me. As you may know if you watched my last video, my dad passed away, and so it was an unusual December. I would like to thank all of you for your kind thoughts, words, comments, and messages that I received. It was a flood of love, and I really do appreciate it. It made a really dark time a little bit brighter for me and my family, so I do thank you so much for that. Anyway, I did manage to sew 3 projects during December, 2 of them for my children and 1 for myself, and it did feel good to get back at the sewing machine and do something creative and sort of forget everything else going on in my life at that time. So the first thing I'm going to show you are the 2 sweaters that I made for my kids. So I made Christmas themed sweatshirts or pullover sweatshirts for both of my kids. I used the same pattern, the Love Notions Sloan sweater. It's just a basic sweatshirt with a bit of a drop shoulder. It's really quick. It's not a particularly fabric heavy sweatshirt pattern, so it's great for those novelty prints or custom printed fabric that can be quite pricey. So the one I made for my son, I made out of a dinosaur print French terry that I bought from Bare Necessities Fabric, which is located in Cochrane, not far from Calgary. They do custom print pre-orders on a number of bases, and I've ordered fabric from them before in the past. I used half a meter of this cute dinosaur festive print to get this size 3 sweatshirt, and I have some left over. In fact, I think I have enough to make the front or the sleeves of like a raglan sweater for next year, so we should be good. I also used some red ribbing that I had in my stash, and I think that's from Oiseau Fabrics. Anyway, Logan loved this. Like, he loved his dinosaur sweater, and both kids love their sweaters, but he wore this a lot to his daycare and to Christmas Eve, and he was cozy and happy in it. For my daughter, I showed her the Oiseau Fabric website, and I asked her to pick from what they had left in stock. Oiseau is right near where my husband works, so he can pick up the fabric from me at the store, so I don't have to ship it. And I was running short on time. It was, December, and she needed a sweater for Christmas sweater day at school. And so she picked up this. It's a green sweatshirting. And it's got little reindeer on it, and it's very cute. I also used the same red ribbing that I had in my stash, and I have no more of this. I've used it all now. But I did buy a meter of this fabric, so I have lots left for next year. I also, though I didn't do it on purpose, and frankly I don't care if my kids wear whatever color in the rainbow they want to wear, but this one will fit the little guy in a couple of years, so it will just go into the cupboard, and he can wear it in the years to come because it's just a sweatshirt. So anyway, she loved this. It's brushed on the inside, so it's sweatshirting as opposed to French terry, so it's a little bit warmer. But yeah, they were so cute. They loved these sweaters, and Emma wore it to school, and she said she probably told her teacher and all her friends that her mommy had made her sweater, and that felt really nice. Of course it did. It's really nice to make something for your kids and they just love it. That's not often the case with my very strongly opinionated children, but yeah, it was really sweet. So I had fun making these. It didn't take very long. They're simple patterns, and like a sweatshirt is pretty essential for where we live. It's really cold here right now. So anyway, I will be putting these into the cupboard because Christmas is over and it is time for them to start wearing other sweatshirts. And I do have some sweatshirting in French terry in my stash to make the kids some new sweatshirts for the winter. So I hope that they will be happy with those. The other make I have to show you that I made in December is a blouse. So this is the Rhapsody blouse from Love Notions in this Rifle Paper Company print from Cotton and Steel Fabrics that I bought at Rick Rack Textiles. So I love this. This fabric is just like, it's kitschy. It reminds me of Christmas at my grandmother's house in the 80s. The decor, just that whole vibe, the nostalgia is deep. And I am a real sucker for a nostalgic Christmas anything. So I loved this. I think that the only bad thing about this is that I finished making it on Christmas Eve, like 15 minutes before we left to go have dinner. And so I only got to wear it once. But the Rhapsody blouse is, it's great. It's a very loose fitting, drapey blouse, and I French seamed it throughout. Oh, it's just fallen off the hanger. Oh my goodness. I'm out of practice, can you tell? So I French seamed it throughout. It's this beautiful rayon, and it will last me for Christmases to come. And I think that, you know, if my size changes slightly over the years, I can either let it in or you know, I cut it with a little bit of ease. So I think that, or take it in, or I cut it with some ease. So I think that I'm really happy with this. I made my own bias tape on Christmas Eve. I probably should have been doing like literally anything else of all of the things that we had to do on Christmas Eve, wrapping presents, baking cookies, whatever. But instead I was making my own bias tape, and through the continuous bias tape method, so like sewing it and cutting it and pressing the bias, double fold bias. But it turned out beautifully. And yeah, I'm thrilled. This fabric is so high quality, this rayon. It just is a dream to work with. It presses beautifully. It behaves. It's almost like sewing with cotton because it does what you tell it to do. And I made the long bishop sleeve version. I did add some length to these bishop sleeves because I've made this pattern before, and I found the sleeves just a little bit too short for my liking. This way they have just a little bit more of that volume at the cuff. And I did add some length to the body of this. I also hemmed it with bias because I had extra bias tape, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? So I hemmed it with bias, and that way it's as long as I could possibly make it, because I did want it to be a little bit longer. I didn't want it to be a short blouse because I wanted to wear it not tucked in. I wanted to wear it out over top of the waistband of my pants. This made me feel really good in a time when I really wasn't feeling good about pretty much anything. So yeah, this brought some joy to my life, and I was very, very pleased with this project. So I do have some other Rifle Paper Company rayon in my stash, a very precious fabric that I bought years ago. And I think I'm going to make this exact blouse in that so I can wear it year round. But yeah, this is also going to go back into the closet and will come out again probably at the end of next November. So in Canada, Boxing Day is a holiday, and often, you know, before Black Friday was a thing in Canada, Boxing Day sales were the sale of the year. My husband used to work in an electronic superstore in Western Canada called A&B Sound, and his favorite stories of his early 20s were, you know, working the Boxing Day sale, like getting down to the store at 3 or 4 in the morning to prep the Boxing Day sale. And that excitement sort of feels like it's over the years, the shift of the big deal or the big score has moved to Black Friday, but there was still a Boxing Day sale at my local fabric store. So I did go to Rick Rack Textiles. I went on New Year's Eve in the morning to catch the last day of the sale because I really didn't think that I needed anything, but I did buy a few things as a treat for myself, and a couple things that have been on my list to buy for a while, and then 2 pieces of fabric. So I'll show you the fabric first. So I bought some ribbing, and this is sweatshirting. I think it's sweatshirting. It's not French terry. So this is a print that they call cow flowers. Anyway, this is totally not what I went in to buy. I had looked around on their website, and I thought they had one that had, I think it's a Katia French terry that had letters on it, and I thought that was kind of cool. But this one there's something about it that just really delighted me with the colors and the flowers, and I'm sort of thinking of spring and whatever. Anyway, I bought this, brought it home. I bought 2 meters of this, so I have lots. I'm going to make myself a sweatshirt, so a Sloan sweatshirt, the ladies version. And then I asked my daughter if she liked it, and I really didn't think that she would. This isn't really the type of print she gravitates towards, and she said, yes, she did. So I will make her a sweatshirt out of this, and then if she doesn't wear it, I will give that sweatshirt to one of her friends. So I have the sweatshirting, and then I bought some matching rib fabric. So this is just ribbing. It's very soft. I have a hunch that this is bamboo ribbing, like it's quite soft. It's not as tightly knit as the cotton ribbing that I use on the kids stuff, so it'll be nice and soft against the neckline. And I'm gonna do the Sloan sweatshirt version that's got the ribbed neck cuffs, and then I'll do a ribbing hemband. So it just is like a regular sweatshirt. So that is my project. I'm going to cut that out today. And then I bought myself some tools. So I bought 3 things. The first of which is a buttonhole cutter. So this is a chisel, buttonhole chisel. So it's got a chisel, a awl, I think is what that's called, awl, and then a wood block to cut your buttons on. So there's the chisel, the awl, and then a little wood block to put behind when you cut your buttons. It is like one of my biggest fears that I will, because the buttonholes are the last thing you do on a shirt or a dress, typically, and that I will end up using my seam ripper and cutting the buttons. I thought this would just make my life so much easier. There's a lot of patterns that I really like that have that button front shirt dress style or a blouse. So I did buy myself this. It was $14.50 and then it was marked down. I think I got 15 or 20% off. So this had been a tool that was on my list for a while. So I'm happy to have bought that. I bought myself some labels. So these ones are sweary ones. It must have just been the mood I was in that day. I'm not going to show you them because they might offend, but yes, they are 10. It's 10 woven labels, 5 different designs, 2 of each, and they all contain swear words. And I might split these and give half of them to my sewing buddy. I got home and I realized that like one of my children is now literate, so that might be a problem, but she doesn't do my laundry. I do my laundry, so we'll see what happens if I use them for my stuff. I have that kind of sense of humor, so your mileage may vary, but yeah, bought some of these. And then the last thing I bought myself is a long-awaited. I put this on my Christmas wish list, but my husband spoiled me in a different way. And I bought myself a pair of shears. So these are the LDH scissors. The shears that I use for sewing are like scissors from the dollar store. And they're terrible, and quite often I will snag, and my cutting is not all that accurate. And so I decided maybe it was time to be responsible and level up and treat myself a little bit with a pair of shears that can be sharpened. So I bought the 9-inch LDH shears, Taylor shears, and they're the black version. They definitely remind me of scissors that my grandmother had that we were not to use. They're very sharp, so these will be going somewhere safe where my small children can't get them and use them to cut up whatever small children cut up. Once my daughter cut up a library book when she was 3, and I made her take it back to the library and apologize to the librarian. Maybe she wasn't even 3 yet. She might have been 2. She could barely speak at that point. And I made her apologize to the librarian, and we paid for the book, and it's now in our library, but our personal library at home. But yeah, she was this sweet little curly haired thing, and she hands the book to the librarian and she says, "I'm sorry, I cut it. Scissors are for paper, not for books." And it was the sweetest thing, but it was a good lesson. She's never done it since. But anyway, yes, so these are my new shears. I bought these at Rick Rack. They do offer scissor sharpening there too. So that's convenient, or I could probably get them sharpened anywhere I can get knives sharpened. But yeah, I'm quite excited about them. I haven't tried them yet. Usually I cut my fabric with a rotary cutter, but I find that it would be good to have some, I think shears are an essential. Even if you do use a rotary cutter, I think you can't not have a good pair of scissors. And cutting fabric, this might be easier for a lot of different things that I'm cutting, particularly like trousers that I don't have a cutting mat that's long enough for the leg of a trouser that I need, but I could put this onto my dining room table or the island in our kitchen and cut out the trousers without using a mat. So I think that will be very helpful. So anyway, that's it for me today. I don't have too much to share in terms of what I'm working on. I am working on a pattern test right now, so in a couple weeks, hopefully I'll have a garment to show you. I didn't do too much sewing. Like I said, over December, I got 3 things done, but considering what December was like for me and my family, I think, that's a success. I do want to thank you so much for your support again. Your comments really did mean the world to me, and I felt super supported. And I especially want to thank those of you that said, take your time coming back. after my mom passed away several years ago, I lost interest in a lot of my hobbies. Like I just wasn't interested in doing anything. And I understand that is like a classic marker of depression or grief. And I hope that that's not the case this time. I hope that I find solace and comfort in my hobbies and crafts. But if I don't, I'm not going to push myself too hard. So anyway, I'm not going to commit to being here every week, as, you know, it is a new year and I want to make some sewing resolutions and stuff, but I will be here as often as I can and as often as I have things to show you. And please reach out to me on Instagram. I do post there a little bit more often, just sort of snippets of what I'm working on and things that I've done. It's at Megan G Makes, or message me here, and I will see you again soon.